Good evening and welcome to Motorsport Focus, your destination for in-depth coverage of the MotoGP world. Tonight, we dive into the story of a living legend, Marc Marquez, and his spectacular 2025 campaign with Ducati Lenovo. A story of redemption, dominance, and perhaps the final chapter of an era-defining career. 2025 marked a new era in MotoGP, not just for the sport, but for Marc Marquez himself. After parting ways with Gresini Racing and finally securing a seat at the prestigious Ducati Lenovo factory team, all eyes were on the number 93. The big question lingered: could Marquez still dominate, or had the sport moved on? Critics questioned whether Ducati had made the right move. After all, they had the reigning champion Francesco Bagnaia, a consistent Jorge Martin, and young talents climbing the ranks. But from the first preseason tests, Marquez silenced doubts. His adaptation to the GP25 was instant. Aggressive, calculated, and efficient traits that once defined his Honda era now resurfaced with a red Desmosedici below him. And when the lights went out in Qatar for the opening race of the season, a new chapter in MotoGP history began. Marquez didn't just win. He dominated. Victories in Qatar, Spain, Italy, and Germany displayed not only speed, but total control. His riding style, aggressive in the corners, fearless under braking, was finally unleashed on a machine that could match his hunger. By mid-season, Marquez had racked up 6 Grand Prix wins, stood on the podium in nearly every round, and opened a commanding lead in the championship standings. Not since the peak of his Honda era had he looked this untouchable. But greatness is never unchallenged. As Marquez pulled away, rivals began to regroup. Pedro Acosta, now a full-fledged KTM factory rider, has shown flashes of brilliance. Jorge Martin, with a point to prove after being passed over by Ducati Lenovo, is racing with a chip on his shoulder. And Marquez's own teammate, Pecco Bagnaia, is still in the hunt, albeit under growing pressure. The Ducati garage has seen moments of internal tension. Bagnaia, once the face of Ducati's golden age, now finds himself eclipsed by the veteran newcomer. Beyond raw speed, what sets Marquez apart in 2025 is his mental game. He plays chess while others play checkers. In Brno, he allowed Acosta to lead for most of the race, studying him. Then, on the final lap, he struck with surgical precision. It wasn't just about winning. It was about sending a message: I control the pace, I decide the ending. Now, as MotoGP enters the second half of the 2025 season, the paddock is asking one question: can anyone stop Marc Marquez? Challenges remain. Tracks like Silverstone and Sepang will test his endurance and Ducati's reliability. And as the pressure mounts, even a rider of Marquez's caliber must tread carefully. There are whispers of Ducati struggling to manage development balance between Marquez and Bagnaia's setups. Will it be a factor? Time will tell. But no matter how this season ends, one thing is certain: Marc Marquez's move to Ducati Lenovo has reignited the fire in MotoGP. He's no longer just a champion, he's a warrior on a mission to conquer the sport one final time, on his own terms. From doubted to dominant, Marc Marquez in 2025 is a masterclass in resilience, talent, and sheer willpower. And we're all lucky to witness it. Marc Marquez joined Ducati last year after leaving Honda to race with the satellite Gresini team, where he won 3 Grands Prix and earned a promotion to the factory team for the 2025 season. At the summer break, Marc Marquez has already won 8 of the first 12 Grands Prix, claimed 11 sprint race victories, and leads the championship standings by 120 points. Although Ducati was initially hesitant to let Marquez race on one of their bikes, the Desmosedici-Marc Marquez combination has proven to be one of the most dominant pairings in MotoGP history. During his era of dominance with Honda, when he became world champion 6 times over 7 seasons between 2013 and 2019, Marquez often faced off directly with Ducati in title battles. In 2017, he went head-to-head with Andrea Dovizioso, with the championship fight going all the way to the final round in Valencia against the Italian rider, though Marquez ultimately came out on top in that title decider. That was only the second time, and so far, the last, that he didn't clinch the title before the final round, the first being during his rookie season in 2013. Dovizioso and Ducati again emerged as his main rivals in 2018 and 2019, although Marquez grew even more dominant during those years. In a candid behind-the-scenes moment from Ducati's documentary series Inside, Ducati shared this comment with Marquez after the Czech Grand Prix celebration. "After all, I already knew it, but now I understand even better why we struggled to win the championship against you." Marquez's victory at last weekend's Czech Grand Prix marked his fifth consecutive Grand Prix win, and also his fifth double win of the season in both the sprint and main race. The win made him the first Ducati rider in history to win 4 races in a row, bringing his total number of career wins to 70, firmly placing him second on the all-time winners list. Marc Marquez's return to MotoGP in the 2025 season has truly brought a different atmosphere to the championship. After years of struggling with injuries, the 6-time world champion is once again highly competitive and has shown his capabilities from the very first race of the season. This year, Marquez has returned to dominant form, reaffirming that he remains one of the most talented riders on the MotoGP grid. Out of the 12 rounds already completed, he has claimed 8 victories in the main races, along with an impressive 11 wins in sprint races. It's no surprise that the Spanish rider now stands firmly at the top of the championship standings, with a comfortable points gap ahead of his closest rivals. Marquez currently leads by as much as 120 points, a margin that offers both a sense of security and significant pressure to maintain in the second half of the season. But for Marquez, this isn't just about numbers. It's about proving to himself that he can rise from the darkest moments of his career, moments that once nearly made him give up. The last time Marquez tasted the sweet glory of a world championship title was back in 2019. Unfortunately, fate had other plans when a massive crash at Jerez in 2020 changed the course of his career. The baby alien disappeared from the front of the grid due to a long and painful injury spell that required multiple surgeries, raising doubts among fans and experts alike about whether Marquez could ever return to his old form. Eventually, he made a bold decision to leave Repsol Honda, the team that had built his legend, and joined Gresini Racing. With Gresini, he rode the Ducati Desmosedici-Marc, a machine that helped him rediscover his best form. Last season with Gresini, Marquez was still rebuilding his confidence and adapting to a new bike. While he wasn't consistently at the front, that season served as a turning point to reignite his fighting spirit. Now, with the factory Ducati team and the latest spec bike, Marquez is performing at his full potential.